Hello, hello. I am back. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Well, it's 3:15 a.m. and I'm still up. Recently, I've been watching some YouTube stuff on true crime, especially Bailey Sarian, actually. Um, Love her. So I thought maybe it'd be fun to do something on true crime myself. Thought, hey, who's someone I've studied? Yeah. Um, I actually used to because I want to be a mystery writer at some point for a career. I know, working currently at Dollar General. Oh, yeah. Also, like, it's very difficult because, like, male. In fact, I'm gonna have a therapy appointment later today, and then a doctor's appointment. Serious doctor's appointment. As you can see, I'm in my room. I'm in my pajamas. I can't really move around because I don't think YouTube would appreciate me flashing anybody because, as you can tell, all I've got on are socks and, well, actually, that's all I've got on. That and a jockstrap. Anyway, getting back to Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper, London's most notorious serial killer. 5 known victims, but did you know? Now here's where it gets interesting. Oh God, these spots are here. I gotta fix this. Anyway, he actually, um, after Mary Jane Kelly, his 5th known victim. Well, oh my. There are 11 victims, and it's like, why are we only talking about the 5? I want to know why. It's just like, now, I haven't done a lot of research recently. I used to do a ton, but there's the Whitechapel murders. Okay? Now, first off, Whitechapel, there was a lot of prostitution stuff. I really don't want to get too into it. God. But the victims in order were Emma Elizabeth Smith, Martha Talbram, Marianne Nicholas, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, and Catherine Eddowes, Mary Jane Kelly, Rose Milett, Alice Mackenzie. Then there was an unidentified torso, and then his last victim was Francis Coles. Yeah, there were 2 victims before the canonical 5. That's just like, what the hell? Why aren't we going over this? And then 4 victims after Mary Jane Kelly, probably the most notorious victim because she was disemboweled in her bed. And if you go to Wikipedia, there's a picture of it. And every now and then I will pull up some sources. And I know, for those people who do a lot of research, Wikipedia is not a good source unless you're looking at something about reality television or just television. But I think it's safe to say that for images, yeah. And it's pretty gross, in my opinion. Thank God that pictures weren't in color back then, because can you imagine if they were? Oh my God. I mean, I used the hell letter for the picture for the thumbnail. I was considering using a doodle or whatever that was in newspapers at the time, but that had a woman's boobs in it, and you know me, I hate boobs. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, I'm up at this hour. Don't have to work again until Tuesday. Woo! Only working 3 days a week. But enough about me. Let's get back to the Ripper. The Ripper. Let's go over the victims, shall we? I mean, in the Victorian era, Whitechapel is definitely a crime hotspot. And okay, I gotta readjust. I gotta get some blankets over me. Okay. I still live at home. Parents are. Oh my. Oh. Yeah. You don't want to see my old shelf. Okay. That is much better. Now, oh, my jewelry. Okay. Well, let's just put on some lipstick because I'm bored. And also nervous. I swear I have the biggest sit right here. I know it. Oh, sorry, I'm being a bit gross. Anyway, this brand sucks, but it's right next to my bed. Anyway, Whitechapel. Basically, not trying to sound racist or anything, but the ghetto, basically. The slums. The Victorian era in London. Also, I am not a drag queen. I just do this for fun. Or, yeah. I will say my bad camera quality, it does really bring out the color in this lipstick. Plus, I guess. Oh my god, that thing is huge. Like, I know this is gross, but like, it is like. Anyway, okay, I gotta stay focused. And my makeup's upstairs, I think. Anyway, so, ooh, there's something here. Like, as you can tell, I'm being easily distracted because I'm 80 minutes off, and yeah, looking at stuff while trying to. Yeah, I know, not the best time to be talking about the Ripper, but London, basically, the Whitechapel district of London. I don't really know much about London and like how they identify what's in what. Like, is Whitechapel district like in Sioux City what we have Morningside? That's the east side of town, or Riverside, the west side of town, or Sexy Fun Time, which is the place in my head. Just kidding. I'm regretting saying that already. Anyway, oh, there's my little mirror. Anyway, so Jack the Ripper. Let's put it in this way: 3 stages. The 2 victims before the canonical 5. The canonical 5. Yeah, I'm flipping off the camera by accident. And then the 4 after canonical 5. After Mary Jane Kelly. Yeah. Oh my god, it looks like I have a vampire bite right here, but they're just 2 big zits that one was underdeveloped. Why do I keep being gross? Ugh. Anyway, so like they're launching like alcohol dependency, violence, robbery, like At one point, the assistant police commissioner, Robert Anderson, recommended Whitechapel to those who take interest in a dangerous class. But I guess it was a tourist hotspot or something because, like, on average, like, 8,500 people resided there on a nightly basis. I mean, but let's put it this way: you aren't staying at the Holiday Inn or I guess Super 8. You're basically staying at a garage that hasn't been cleaned, I guess. I don't know. But, oh, like, forensic techniques weren't really in use, and blood typing hadn't even been invented. So, like, Ripper would probably have been, yeah, he probably would have been caught by today's. Yeah. Let's start with his very first actual victim, not in the canonical 5, Emma Elizabeth Smith. Tuesday, April 3rd, 1888. And this is actually a very notable because it was after a famous robbery. An Easter Monday bank the Easter Monday bank holiday. I believe there was also a robbery. Not quite sure. She was 45, and she was assaulted and robbed. I know, but here's the thing: she was attacked, and she did survive. But don't just jump to it right there. She managed to get back to her house. She told whatever a deputy keeper is that she had been attacked by 2 or 3 men, one of them a teenager. Like, she was then taken to the hospital, but then and was revealed that a blunt object had been inserted in her lap, rupturing her peritoneum, something. And then she developed peritonitis, and then she died at approximately 9 a.m. the next day. Like, on April 7th, like, people started, like, investigations were started. And, like, for 6 of the later victims, the same inspector here, Wayne Edwin Baxter, or a coroner, like, he investigated the majority of these, I guess, or was the coroner for most of these. And he believes that she was the first victim of Jack the Ripper. And I think that this is true. I think that Jack was just starting to figure things out. But the fact that she says that she was attacked by multiple people. I mean, this does seem to fit Jack's MO. My personal opinion is possibly she got into a role play with the guy. I'm not sure. Or, like, maybe she was just babbling nonsense. I'm not really sure. Because I think that back then prostitutes were more focused on their discretion. Yeah. But it also was said that they believed something similar for her. Like, but they also did suspect possibly a criminal gang because of her statement saying it was a teenager, because they were all often managed by gangs rather than pimps, I guess. But she, I think, was refusing to identify her attacker because of her fear of reprisal, which was very common in prostitutes back then. On the 7th Tuesday, on Tuesday the 7th, and following that another Monday bank holiday, a prostitute named Martha Tabram was murdered at about 2:30 a.m. Her body was found at the George Yard buildings in George Yard, Whitechapel, shortly before 5 a.m. She had been stabbed 39 times in her neck, torso, genitals with a short blade, with one possible exception. All of her wounds had been inflicted by a right-handed individual. So I'm not sure if, like, started right-handed, but then, like, he was giving his hand. I'm not sure what that meant. Most experts do not connect this with Jack the Ripper, but because of the repeated steps, whereas later victims, they just were slash wounds and abdominal mutilations. However, this was only if this was Jack the Ripper, this is only his second one. He was possibly still figuring out, like, what his method would be, maybe, because first woman, she died because something was inserted in her vagina wrong. Okay, this lady stabs. I mean, it does remind me a bit of Mary Kelly. And yeah. But anyway, now we get into the canonical 5. Sorry, I'm getting a lot. And obviously, yeah, I mean, we all know about the canonical 5. And which is why I'm going to, at least for this video, I'll do another one on maybe the canonical 5. I don't know. I'm just going to skip the canonical 5. I feel like I should go over the lesser known victims. So we're going to skip past canonical 5. I get most of my makeup out. And now that you've heard of his actual first 2 victims, because one definitely for sure, the other one, we don't know. But I think it's safe to say that Jack was just still figuring out how he wanted to leave his mark. And his canonical 5, the canonical 5 victims, he definitely was positive about them. So I think he really didn't consider, like, what he did. I think those first 2 victims for him, he considered practice. That's my opinion. Like, practice makes perfect. So, like, yeah. Now, after Mary Jane Kelly, the one that was, Rose Mylett, on the 20th December, it was a Thursday, 1888. The body of Rose, 26-year-old prostitute Rose Mylett, was found in Clark's Yard off Popular High Street. She was born Catherine Mylett, and she was also known as Drunken Lizzie Davis and Farah Alice Downry. Now, here's the thing. She lived in the same building as The very first victim, Emma Smith. Yeah. That is deep shit. There were 4 doctors who examined her body. She had been found strangled. But some people thought that she had accidentally hanged herself on the collar of her dress while in a drunken stupor. And it's just like, some people think it was accidental, but actually a lot of people do. But at this point, after Mary Jane Kelly, I do believe that it is quite possible that they just didn't want to give him any more, credit, because, like, we don't want to, we know enough. Now, onto his third to last victim, Alice McKenzie. We don't know a lot about her. She was possibly a prostitute. If she was, we don't know. I guess she kept to herself. She kept her private affairs private, and she knew how. She was murdered about 12:40 a.m. on Wednesday, 17th of 1889 in Castle Alley, Whitechapel. Like most previous murders, her left carotid artery was severed from left to right, and there were wounds on her abdomen. But the wounds were not as deep as in previous murders, and it was saw a shorter blade was used. Even though this is believed to be a Ripper murder, some people disagreed, and yeah, or it was either that or an attempt to make it look like one. It's just like, we don't know. It's like, we don't really know much about Alice McKenzie either way, as a victim, or as who her killer was, or just who she was. It's just very unique, I guess, for this case. Now, this next victim is unidentified. Now, I'm not going to get into this one. This is the only one I'm not going to get into, but I don't know what to say. But now, here's the last one. Frances Coles was Friday the 13th, February 1891. 25-year-old prostitute Frances Coles was murdered under a railway arch in Swallow Gardens, Whitechapel. Her body was found only moments after the attack at 2:15 a.m. Yeah, he heard the Ripper running in the distance. He remained at the scene while waiting for others. She was lying beneath the passageway she was just laying there. She was still alive, but she died before she could get medical attention. She was thrown violently to the ground. Her throat was cut at least twice. So the Ripper had indeed been interrupting. This one probably had been interrupted. So yeah, this was definitely a disturbed one. In fact, a man named James Adler was last seen with her. He was a Ripper suspect, and he was the last person to be seen alive with this victim. This could very possibly have been the actual Ripper. We don't know. We may never know. And quite frankly, I hope that we don't, but at the same time, no. Now, you're going to be shocked by this, but there's possible that there were other victims we don't know about. In fact, I remember reading an article a few years ago. They thought that there was a possible another unidentified victim. But the reason for that is because it was a recently found remains from what was in the Whitechapel district. I believe for construction purposes, they found a body and it was only skeletons at this time, but it was looked into, and yeah, it's very likely that that was the body of another Ripper victim, actually. So I guess you could say he actually probably killed 12. It's so sad, because, I mean, these women are only trying to make ends meet. And, well, most of them. I mean, 2 are unidentified, and 1, we don't even know if she was a prostitute. The others were. She probably wasn't. Or she was very discreet. We don't know. We may never. Sometimes things like this are best left unknown because it inspires people like me, even, to wonder, wow. That's why I think the case should remain unsolved. That's all for tonight. I'm gonna try and get some sleep. Bye! That's only for my boyfriend, not for you. Especially you straight girls. Or girls in general. Sorry. Bye.